beginning to absolutely showing sustainability across the board. So without further ado, I would like to invite onto the podium here Massimo Falcioni, the CEO of Etihad Credit Insurance, to tell you about the wonderful example of sustainable architecture and to officially launch for us today the CEOforLIFE Awards. Thank you. Please, Massimo, can you join us?
Your Excellencies, esteemed CEOs, ambassadors of sustainability, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, everybody. On behalf of His Excellency, Abdullah bin Tok Al-Marri, the UAE Minister of Economy and the UAE Federal Export Credit Company Chairman, I would like to extend our warm welcome and thanks to you for being part of the CEOforLIFE United Arab Emirates Global Awards. We are glad to have this opportunity to bring together top government officials from the UAE and Italy, along with a host of international CEOs and leading brands. The presence of dominant influencers in setting the strategic economic and business objectives on a global scale is instrumental to the success of this momentous event. Earth, as you have seen also from the video, is a living organism that has limited resources, and these resources will not last forever. The present problems are not necessarily fatal for us, but they, as Mr. Scott Baden-Powell, the founder of the Scott movement, said, we have not inherited this earth from our forefathers, we have borrowed it from our children. We need to meet the needs of the present generation without compromising with those of future generations. It goes without saying that sustainability is one of the defining challenges of our time, and one that is a key pillar for us. In a world closely connected with technology, trade, investments, CEOs have a decisive role to play in environmental, social, and governance issues. This is the era of responsibility that calls all of us for responsible actions. Indeed, for this unique edition of the CEOforLIFE Awards, in line with the Expo 2020 theme to connect minds for creating the future, we are able to successfully forge the synergies on this topic between two friendly countries, highly engaged on sustainability, like Italy and the UAE, through this event, which is simultaneously happening from Sustainability Pavilion at Expo 2020 in Dubai and in St. Regis Hotel in Rome. There is no better place to spotlight this event here at the World Expo, which showcases more than 190 participating nations' efforts towards creating a viable future, establishing sustainable benchmarks, and leaving a meaningful legacy for generations to come. Before I continue my speech, I would like to express my gratitude to the founder of the CEOforLIFE, Giordano Fatali, and his great team that, in collaboration with the ECI team, organized this event aimed at rewarding global business leaders for their outstanding initiatives, contributing to the achievement of Sustainable Development Goals. I would like also to thank His Excellency Nicola Lehner, the Italian ambassador, which is here with us, and thank you very much for joining us, and His Excellency Said Al-Awadi, which is the CEO of Dubai Industry and Export and board member of ECI, and also the Trade Commissioner of Italy, Amedeo Scarpa. Thank you very much for being with us today here. The 17 sustainability goals finalized in 2015 in Paris Agreement and the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development both represent universally approved policy visions that mark a paradigm shift from a top-down approach into international mandates towards a bottom-up, country-driven implementation process, reflecting the ethos of the Sustainable Development Goals, leaving no one behind. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, UAE President and Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, provided a clear guidance to all of us as government institutions and private business leaders as well, to work as one team together to contribute to the achievement of the sustainability goals. The very words of His Highness, which I want to quote, is providing a clean environment is at the heart of our efforts to advance development and provide high quality of life, both now and in the future. We have adopted global best practices and implemented innovative projects to preserve our environment and protect the health and safety of the people in the UAE. Now, which is the role of the Federal Export Credit Agency? Many ask me why ECI is sponsoring this event. Because we want to be a contributor to this success. So ECI started championing with this activity the transition to clean energy, contributing the Energy Strategy 2050 goals, supporting energy transition projects towards target zero net emission. We have been involved in several projects in this regard to support investments in renewable projects in order to reduce carbon emissions. We have been providing guarantees for financing technologies to generate energy from waste, making access to power more affordable and more accessible for developing nations. Following the UAE strategy to become climate neutral, ECI plans to roll approximately $3 billion of guarantees to support renewable energy projects in the country and abroad. Energy transition requires a large amount of investments. And it is a great opportunity also to generate employment. This is where we can make the difference. We no longer invest in coal or fossil fuels, and we are actively supporting projects associated with a decarbonization. We have also been actively working on creating an innovative digital platform that connects private and public entities to grow trade and trade finance through international collaborations and building a sustainable economy based on the power of the public-private partnerships. This model has allowed us to support the UAE leaders to implement a sustainable, competitive economy based on knowledge, expertise, diversity, and has helped the country significantly to rebound from the pandemic-induced disruption in a record time. We are also overwhelmed with the result of this year's edition of these awards, a way for us to promote and sensibilize sustainable economic and financial actions that we already started working on 2023 edition to ensure that we reach a broader audience and that we build a global network in the Middle East region, connecting with our neighboring countries as well. As a final note, I would like to congratulate with all the CEOs which will be awarded today. You are the real protagonists of today's session. And I would like also to thank all the speakers, and we will have a long list of speakers which will provide contribution to the success of today's event, and which their insightful roundtables will contribute to give us, stimulate our brain and see the future. This country, the UAE, is planning the next 50 years development of the country economy and social environment, and this is exactly what we would like to see, the future. You are the ambassadors of the economic change, which will enhance our way of living. I'm confident this event will be helpful to your next journey to sustainable growth. Let the forum and the awards begin now. Thank you for your attention. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.